Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos.
Here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here. Sorry guys, me and Mrs. Candles were canoodling. Mrs. Candles, I love you. I love you. You got to get out of here, Mrs. Candles. Get her out of here, Mrs. Candles. Listen, guys. Sometimes you can't control Mrs. Candles. Sometimes she wants to canoodle on stream. Guys, shout out to BJ in the background here. BJ was helping us out with the stream. We have some new stuff. And speaking about the new stuff on the stream, guys, we do have a very special live stream tomorrow. Thank you for your help, BJ. Hasta pasta, homie. That is not Mrs. Candles' hands. Those were BJ's hands. BJ, just for the record, is not Mrs. Candles, although he does have very, very, very soft hands. But, guys, speaking of special live streams, tomorrow we are doing a special live stream in, not in agreeance, in partnership with BingX, guys. We are going to be doing a live trading tutorial on the live stream tomorrow, not at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but at 1:30 p.m. is going to be that live stream. I'm going to be going over the volume profile and divergences and how I use them to get into profitable trades. So we're going to be covering that. It's going to be super fun. You guys might have seen me on the homepage of BingX. Super, super cool. But that's what that's all about. Tomorrow's live stream at 1:30 p.m. It's going to be a BingX live stream. Shout out to Learning. I see you guys. You're very quiet. I have sound up to 80. Yes, that actually does not surprise me. Cap, thank you for that. Let me go ahead and adjust my settings here. But, guys, welcome to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time while I raise my volume up a bit here. But, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure where there's going to be multiple chances to win some giveaways as I move chat over to my other monitor. But, guys, last week we had an absolutely insane giveaway. We gave away a whole lot of stuff as we had multiple weeks of giveaways kind of layered up on top of each other. So smash up that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure. The more spins, the more wins, the more wins, the more free stuff. We even gave away 2 premium Discord memberships, and I think we gave away 3 things of merch. It was super fun, and we gave away a bunch of crypto as we always do. So smash that like button. And without further ado, guys, we got a great show for you tonight. We're taking a look at Bitcoin as we are getting a little bit of a pump to the upside. How high can we go? Are we going to get that breakout that everybody's been looking for? There actually are some things on the chart starting to point towards a move to the upside, but it is not without a caveat. We do have some other things pointing to the downside. Unfortunately, guys, we did not break the range to the upside or downside over the weekend, which means we're basically in the same situation that we were in last week with these confusing signals and Bitcoin just trying to make up its mind here. It's very hard to read, so we're going to be trying to break it. I'm going to try to break it down for you guys, give you a little bit of clarity on where I think Discord is going to be where I think, did I say Discord? Or did I just read Discord? I want to try to give you guys an idea of where I think Bitcoin is about to go. Are we going to get a big move up? Are we going to get a lackluster move up before a bigger move down? Because as you guys know, I have been leaning a little bit more bearish in the shorter to medium term before our next move up. Now, I am long-term bullish. I do think we will crack the highs that we have right now, just above $31,000. I think we will eventually break those highs. I just don't know if it's ready to happen right now, so we're going to be breaking it all down for you guys right now. Let's see. Shout out to Brett Headley said, yes, thank you, Frankie. I found out I won the premium Discord. I'm excited to get in there. I start my vacation Wednesday. Shout out to Brett. It's a perfect time. Well, don't get me wrong. Enjoy your vacation, but it's not a bad time to maybe hop in that Discord and learn a little bit as well. But yeah, super, super excited for that, man. Congratulations on winning. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the chat. And like I said, guys, don't forget 1:30 p.m. tomorrow will be that BingX trading tutorial that I will be doing. Yeah, it's going to be a good time, so make sure you hop in there. Yeah, shout out to Digital X, said my trade survived and I closed it in profits. Shout out to Digital X. I was going to say I appreciate it that you're winning your trades, bro. Shout out to you, man. But let's see who we got in here. We got Randall Dance. What is going on? Says that's better. Let's go. I assume he's talking about that volume. Shout out to MC in the house. We got Lord Base. What is going on? Said bull has started. Hey, let's go. Shout out to Crypto Billy, guys. Don't forget to shout out and show some love to our mods. We got Crypto Billy, Captain Kirk, Tyler Durden, Rob the Crypto Snob. Whoa, we got Mrs. Candles in the chat, guys. I saw that blue wrench, and I was like, what? Hey, Mrs. Candles, what's going on? Wait, Mrs. Candles, you were just sitting right behind me. Mrs. Candles is hanging out with BJ right now, just in the chat. But shout out to Mrs. Candles, guys. Show all our mods some love, which I guess Mrs. Candles technically qualifies as a mod right now. She's actually in New York right now. That's why I've been trying to ignore her phone calls. But of course, yeah, she figured she'd be able to get me in here. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Mrs. Candles, I love you. I'm sorry. I was just joking. It was a joke. I did it for the content. Please don't leave me. Anyway, let's see who else we got in here. Hey, Mrs. Candles shouting out Captain Kirk and Tyler. Let's go. Will Frank say hi to me? Shout out to Mrs. Candles popping off in chat. Hey, I like this, Mrs. Candles. I like that you're active in chat, guys. Show Mrs. Candles some love. But let's see. Shout out to Kenny O. Obviously, Captain Kirk in the house. Shout out to Ted. Shout out to Max B. Shout out to Tony D for gifting that one Frankie Candles membership. Let's go. Shout out to all the green names. I see you guys in here. PS5, Future of Gaming. What is going on? Kenny Q. Cryptic Aussie. What is going on, brother? I assume you're from the Down Under. Shout out to you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you with my horrible accent. Shout out to Santiago. We got Crypto Billy in the house. Shout out to Crypto Billy. I love you, bro. Shout out to Learning. Also in the house, we got Light F. Says, shout out to the CandleMafia. I agree. And says, hey, my dear friend, Nabil. What is going on, Nabil? Thank you for being here. And we got Dave Digital sneaking in here with a super chat. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said, 29.8, 31,000, played the range, took the profit. And for that, Dave, I say, let's throw some money. I was going to try to rhyme, but shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go, baby. Closing those trades in profit. That's what it's about. Shout out to Dave Digital. Bing bong. Throwing the money for Dave Digital. I love when Dave wins his trades. Let's go. But guys, without further ado, hey, shout out to Stephen Hayes. Says, sup, Frankie. First time for me here. Well, shout out to Stephen, and welcome to the Frankie Candles live stream where me, Frankie Candles, shows you how to make money trading crypto, whether the price is going up or down. And once in a while, we give some stuff away. But yeah, we're about to do 2 hours of TA. I try, Steven, just so you know, I do try to give away as much free educational value on these live streams as I possibly can every single weekday. But without further ado, Captain Kirk, Apples Up North with the 5 gifted memberships. Shout out to Apples Up North, one of our biggest gifters on the channel. Shout out to you, Apples Up North. I do appreciate you. Captain Kirk coming in with a super chat said, Mrs. Candles steals the show. We love Mrs. Candles. Yeah, Mrs. Candles doesn't always pop up in chat. And, but when she's here, she does like to make some noise. Shout out to Eric Bonici. Said shout out to Frankie Candles with the face emojis. Let's go, guys. And speaking of face emojis, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in to the face emoji. Well, just you guys know what I mean. The charts. But yeah, let me just pull up my my live streaming here. Okay, that is not what we wanted. Back to the face real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Let me just go ahead and change this. BJ was here, our technical director. If you guys don't know BJ, he's our technical director at Hit Network. And he was here fixing some stuff on the live stream. But when you fix stuff, sometimes you got to move stuff around and stuff gets disconnected. So now let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Here we go. All right, let's see. Shout out to Luke, said, let's go. Up or down, we don't care. Making money? Shalongin'. Let's go. But, guys, let's take a look here. We're not going to look at this chart. We're going to come on over to the live stream chart. And, actually, yeah, we'll take a look at the live stream chart. So here we are, guys. Here we are. I'm going to turn off the TA, and I want to go over just what the indicators are saying. And I just want to talk to you guys face-to-face or face-to-chart and just talk about what we're kind of expecting here in the medium term for Bitcoin. And don't forget, today's energy is brought to you by Aztecian Cactus Moss Water, the most healthy energy drink, full of collagen, full of antioxidants, and it's definitely not Celsius, whatever that is. People always think it's Celsius. It's not Celsius. It's Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. You guys know the deal. But here we go, guys. This is what we're looking at. Let's take a look at the weekly. Now, again, the mixed signals are out there right now, guys. Obviously, we were taking a look at this last week, and here's the thing. Weekly money flow crossover has confirmed. This was something that we were really looking for. This is a bullish sign in the long term. This is a longer term, very, 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 very bullish sign. And I'm not gonna really harp on this too much as of right now, but just so you guys know, typically when you get those weekly money flow crossovers on the weekly, they typically mark not the end of the bear market and the beginning of the bull run. It depends on how you classify the beginning of the bull run. Some people consider the bull run beginning once you bottom out. Some people wait for the market structure to change. Some people go by the 4-year cycle, wait for after the halving. So it depends on how you define it. But typically when you see these money flow crossovers on the weekly, typically the bottom is in for the bear market, and you either start to consistently grind your way up to new all-time highs, or you will accumulate for a little bit, and then you get the halving, and then you shoot off into your parabolic bull run. Either way, guys, we have already gotten a fake out into the green and then back into the red, and now we are getting our second crossover into the green. And if you compare that to 2018, 2019, this was exactly what we saw. We saw a fake out into the green, back into the red, and then that second money flow crossover into the green was the money flow crossover into the green that wound up bringing us up into the next bull run. So in terms of the weekly, this is very, 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 very bullish. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go up in a straight line, like immediately, but in the long term, it does indicate that the bottom is likely in here at 15.5. On top of that, looking at the, and I was talking about this in our premium live stream on Friday, I think there's a big, not a disconnect, but I think people get very, very, very confused because they'll ask me, are we going up or are we going down? Typically, it's more new people, and they say, are we going up or are you bullish or bearish? And like we were talking about in the premium live stream, right now, I am bullish on the weekly and also bearish, right? And the important thing to separate here is time frame, right? So I am bullish on this money flow crossover, but because it takes a long time for these money flow crossovers to actually play out, and you can compare it to the past, right? This money flow crossover happened, which wound up being very, very bullish for Bitcoin, right? But what happened? We wound up coming up a little bit and then getting an absolute nuke during 2020. We all know what was going on there. And, the money flow never went back in the red. The money flow was still bullish, but we wound up getting a dump, right? So I didn't have my YouTube channel back then, but if I did, I could almost guarantee you that when I was, if I was calling for this money flow crossover to be bullish, someone would come in as we dumped like, oh, wow, what happened, Frank and Candles? I thought you said we were bullish. And it's like, yes, we are. Zoom out, right? Zoom out, and again, it doesn't mean that we will immediately shoot up to 100K. You could easily continue to consolidate. You could even get a big dump. But overall, in the long term, when you zoom out, these weekly money flow crossovers are extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And this is one of the things that is making me lean a lot more bullish in the long term, and why I do think we will eventually wind up breaking these highs that we've created right here to come up to some higher prices, potentially targeting. We could talk about this later, but potentially targeting between 32 and 34K, and then, as we get higher, 34 to 38K, and then 40 to 50K. Even, obviously, we're pretty far away from that, but it is not out of the question, right? So, dump it. Everybody's saying it's dumping. Let's go down to a lower time frame. Oh, baby, send it to 0. Send it to 0, baby. Let's go. Shout out to the premium Discord. And also, real quick, while we're dumping, this was a short that we were looking at this very specific level, guys, in the premium Discord. And I will say this. Somebody commented recently, I think it was a chat, and they said, hey, guys, don't listen to this guy. He's getting in his positions, and by the time he tells you about it, he's already counter trading you, which doesn't even make sense. I can't move the markets, guys. So just understand that, right? Like, even if I came on here and said everybody long, and I was trying to counter trade you, it wouldn't work, right? I'm not trading with hundreds of millions of dollars. But here's the thing. Ever since, as a YouTube creator, especially in crypto, I've missed more entries than I have ever missed in my entire life. And most of the time, I miss these entries because I try to get the information out to the premium Discord first, right? Obviously, I'm taking as many trades as I possibly can, but really, as a content creator, and I guess you can call me an educator, even though it's not, like, certifiable, and as someone who tries to teach other people how to do this and be profitable, it is much more important to me, right, to get that information into our Discord first, right, before I get into my position, right? The whole thing is, like, get the setup in there to get everybody the information as soon as possible, and this is actually one of those situations, right? This is actually the second time in a row this has happened, and it gets frustrating because there's nothing like saying, hey, I think we're going to go down here, and then missing the short, right? But I'll talk about the trades. Again, I'm not currently in any trades myself, at least today. But I will show those trades that we were looking at in the premium Discord because I could try to educate you guys on what I look for these trades so you could start to spot this stuff yourself. And then if you want to get spoon-fed the setups like we do in the premium Discord, you can check that out. Link in the description down below. Also, join the free Discord. You don't have to get the premium to become a profitable trader. Please understand that. There's tons and tons and tons of value in the free Discord. But anyway, with that being said, yeah, absolutely dumping. It's almost like we knew the levels there. But I'll cover that in a second, guys. But really, let's just continue on with the TA here because I want to talk about, again, not getting overly emotional on the moves up or the moves down right now. I am simply, listen, as a trader, I play both ends of the coin, right? Like, I'm longing, I'm shorting. Sometimes I'm long and short at the same time, which literally feels like cheating. But here's the thing. I am playing both ends of the coin more than ever right now because we are in a weird spot in the market, guys. Here's the thing. My general sentiment for the past few weeks has been, I think we are more likely, the charts are saying, this is not my personal, I mean, it is my opinion, but, like, this isn't my emotional opinion. Like, I'm not saying this because I want this to happen. I'm saying this because this is what the charts are saying. A lot of things on the charts, specifically the higher daily time frames, which we're analyzing right now, would call for a move down before our next big move up. Now, it doesn't mean we can't pump like we just did today, right? We can pump. That's noise in the market. But I am saying before we get our next big leg to the upside, right? Another one of these moves, right? Another one of these giant moves, our next big leg up, in my opinion, is likely not going to happen until we cool off a little bit in the medium term. And number one thing that is making me think that is, or the one thing on the charts that's showing that, is the higher daily time frames and even the weekly, right? Now, we just talked about how the weekly is bullish because of the money flow crossover, which is all fine and dandy. But the money flow indicates the longer-term trend, especially when you're talking about something like the weekly. The money flow can take a long time to play out. And again, this is a great example here. You cross into the green. We wound up dumping and bing-bonging around before eventually getting that parabolic move up. This is likely going to be very similar. It doesn't mean we're going to shoot up from here. We could even come down a lot, right, and just kind of accumulate. But as long as that money flows in the green, I'm longer-term bullish. However, look at your VWAP. Your VWAP indicates the short-term noise in the market. So this indicates that when we cross over the zero line here and we get that weekly red dot, we are likely to get more of a move to the downside. Okay, so on top of that, we also have this weekly bearish divergence, which is technically printing. We've talked about this last week. Not the strongest angle on the divergence here. However, it is there, so that could add a little insult to injury. But again, the main thing here in the shorter term, this is why I'm expecting it more likely to get a short-term move down before the next move up, is because of the weekly VWAP coming to the downside. And then as we work our way down these daily time frames, as you would expect, your 6-day VWAP is also coming down. Your 5-day VWAP is getting even closer. The 4-day is like looking to cross over the zero line to print a red dot. Your 3-day is like You might even get this red dot a little later tonight if we wind up dumping. And then the 2-day red dot is confirmed, right? So all these higher daily time frames would indicate that the next bigger move would be down before the next move up. And again, something that is in somewhat confluence with that would be the money flow on the 4-hour. This is another big thing we've been watching for a very, very long time. Money flow cruising to the downside, looking to cross over into the red here. That would be indicating, right, especially with those higher time frame red dots popping up, that we may likely see a breakdown before that next big move up. So that's my general sentiment. I don't want to really harp on that for too long because I've kind of been talking about it for the past 2 weeks. I honestly feel like a crazy person. I don't care if I'm wrong. Just break, right? Like, go break up or break down. Like I said, the technicals are definitely pointing towards a move down first. And by a move down, guys, I don't mean to the bottom of this range. I mean like a break of this range to the downside to come to some lower prices before flipping back up and coming to the upside. So I'm not going to harp on this too long because the sentiment has remained almost exactly the same for the past few weeks now. And I still stand here in the same exact position, right? Like, basically, as soon as we started bing-bonging around here, like for the past 2 weeks, that's kind of been my sentiment, right? Like a move down before another move up. And we've gotten these short-term pumps, right? Which, obviously we didn't break the ranges. But again, basically my plan here, guys, is to treat this as the sideways range that it is until proven otherwise. So this is how we're able to get into these trades, guys. And again, it's not as easy as shorting the value area high and longing the value area low. Obviously, there's some nuances there. You need actual entry signals. You need the setup. You want to have a plan for your trade. And again, if you're interested in how we get into these trades in the premium, you can check that out. But I always try to break down the trades on the live stream because I could show you guys kind of what we look for, right? And then although you're not getting the setup spoon-fed or the confirmations that we need to have, you could at least understand the theory of what I'm looking for, and you could add it into your own strategy, right? So taking a look here, as you guys know, kind of the main levels we're looking at is this local volume profile, right? So we just grab our volume profile, we pull it from the left to right, covering all this sideways price action, and this is basically our scalp levels, right? Not scalp levels, but kind of like day trade levels. When you come to the low, you're expecting to come to the high. When you reject the high, you're looking to come to the low, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, so on and so forth, right? Now, obviously, your guys are probably, some people might be sitting there like, I don't know what's going on in chat right now, but I will come back into chat in a second. But this is basically where we find our levels. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, you didn't reject the high there. You completely left the high and then came back in, which is part of the strategy as well. But really what we're doing is we're looking for shorts as we approach the value area high and even when we deviate above or below the value area low to look for the trades in the opposite direction. And that is how we wound up actually. Let me see something real quickly, guys. Let me see if I'm gonna pull up my face cam real quick, and let me see if I could pull this up without giving too. Here we go. Right. So here is. Let me just show this. Here is a long position that we were looking at. Let's go back to the charts here. So here's a long position. It just finally wound up playing out in full. This is from the premium Discord. And the reason I'm showing this is because you could see the same exact range that we're looking at right now. And we came to the low of the range, and we had specific entry signals we were looking for and confirmations we were looking for down here to get into a long position. And this is important to bring up for more reason than one. Number one, I just want to show that when you're at the value area low, this is why you look for longs at the value area low, because once you get above that value area low, you know the next place that price is likely to go is going to be Creighton. Is Creighton here today? Hey, if Creighton's not here, Tanner A or Dave, if you guys can fill in. Once you get above that value area low and flip it to support, that is the next likely place for Bitcoin to go is going to be the POC and then the value area high, which is exactly what happened here. But the important thing to realize here is, guys, I always say the markets are foggy, right? Like the markets are very confusing. It's never really a clean shot from the value area low to the value area high. A lot of times you will bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, and it will fake you out and try to scare you out of the trade. But if you trust your TA and patience pays, I've been saying this all day, patience pays. if you wound up sitting in this trade and just trusting your TA and leaving your stop loss wherever you had it set and trusting your technical analysis, eventually this trade wound up playing out because the TA wound up being sound, and you went from the low to the value area high, and it played out beautifully. And I want to show you guys where price rejected, right at that value area high, which, as you guessed it, we were looking for a short there as well. Now, I will say this was a little bit of a harder trade to get into because there wasn't the most clear entry signals. However, we came to the high. We went from the low, flipped the low to support, right to the value area high, and then reversed right from the value area high, back down, and now we are approaching the POC, but eventually we may be able to make it down to the value area low. This is important, guys, because, again, I come up here and I always say, you look for longs at the low, go to the high, back to the low, back 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 to the high. And if I was a viewer watching somebody talk about this, I'd be like, no way that reliable. And I am here to tell you that although the volume profile is not right 100% of the time, it is one of the most reliable trade tools that you can possibly use. And it just played out here live, right? We were long here, looking to get we hit our final TP. It took a few days, but we finally hit it. And then we were looking for a short here, and boom, it plays out. It doesn't always play out that quickly, but obviously that short is, hopefully for the people who took it, is now in profit. Not that we do trade signals or, it's not financial advice, but, if you're able to make use of that information, you should be sitting pretty right now. But what happened? Simply, we came up to the value area high. You look for those short entries, right? And if you're able to get the confirmations, you hop into that short and you look to short it all the way back down to the value area low. Now, if this trade winds up getting back down to the value area low, right, and we wind up riding it all the way down to that this local value area low, right now it's about halfway. This is obviously a great place to take profits, but what happens if the money flow on the 4-hour is indeed going to play out and give us a bigger move to the downside, and we wind up losing this range and wind up coming down to maybe visit, which is going to be the next topic of conversation, which is the more macro levels that we're looking at, but maybe we do break this range to the downside. The 4-hour money flow does wind up crossing back over into the red, and we wind up seeing a big move down. If we see that, this little scalp trade from the high to the low, just like this little scalp trade here was from the high to from the low to the high, if you get past this point and you're able to take partial profits and hold a part of your trade here, you could potentially ride the rest of that trade down for a much bigger move, and you could turn that tiny little scalp trade from the high to the low into a massive swing trade that winds up hitting for 6.5% rather than like 1.5% or 2%, right? And this is the beauty of trading with the volume profile. So shout out to anybody in the premium Discord. I did not think that was going to hit that fast, hence why I am not in the position. I was waiting for, I missed the actual rejection and then was waiting for a retest, and we just didn't get the retest. We just absolutely nuked super, super fast, right? Like, boop, like kind of hard to, just zero retest there. But that's the risk that you run for not sitting at your desk. But, guys, that's what we're looking for, and this is how I am handling everything up until this point and moving forward. I am simply just trading the range. Like, I know a lot of people are expecting this big breakout move, which totally could happen. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not getting excited until we are decisively out of this local range, right? Like, I am simply just trading this range, and it's been very profitable, right? I didn't miss all the trades. I just missed the last two. I just missed this long and then this short. But, this is a beautiful, beautiful range that we're trading here. And if we come back down to the low, guys, even though I'm expecting to get a break to the downside, if I get long confirmations at the bottom of this local range at the value area low, I will be looking for more longs up to the value area high, just like I did back here and back here and back here and back here, right? Same thing. So that's basically what I'm looking at. I'm playing the local range, same thing as Friday. Obviously, if you watch the stream Friday, this is basically the same vibe. And nothing has happened, guys. I was hoping we were going to break this range over the weekend, and we are just still stuck in the dang range. And then finally, even though I am leaning towards a shorter-term move down before our next big move up, when we started pumping here, I'm like, honestly, I hope the short doesn't play out, and I hope this thing just rips through the range so we could start a new range and start all new price action because I'm getting sick of this boring range. But it is make for nice range trading. But that's what I'm looking at, guys. Levels to the downside, local levels to the downside. The value area low, local value area low is obviously going to be a big level to watch. Coming in at $29,968. So we come back down here, might be a good place to start looking for some scalp longs, right? And if we wind up getting a bounce, right? If we come back down there and bounce back up to the high, I will be looking for my resistance again at that value area high. Now, I don't know what just happened. Now, I also want to talk about, guys, why one of the reasons why we were looking for a short at this level, right? Now, not only is it the value area low, not only is it the value area high, and we know there's likely rejections there, but it is also the local golden pocket retracement of this entire move down, right? And where do we know price likes to put in those lower highs? It likes to put in the lower highs at the golden pocket or sometimes the 786 Fibonacci retracement levels before making another move to the downside. So not only are we already watching this level because it's a value area high and we know it's likely going to be a rejection there, so not only are we looking at it for that reason, but once you pull that fib, this is what you call confluence. If you are able to get that golden pocket real close to that value area high, this is what I like to call a short zone. Not only do you have the value area high, but you also have the local golden pocket. And the local golden pocket is oftentimes where price likes to put in lower highs to continue a downtrend. And that is part of the reason why we were looking at this level for a rejection. So, again, local resistance definitely going to be the value area high at $30,747. If we are able to decisively get above that value area high and we get another bigger pump to the upside, your macro value area high is coming in at about $31,400. And if we break out of this range, I will simply hide this range and just look at the bigger range, which is between right here at $28,670. That's your value area low. Your point of control of that macro range is at about $30,175, and the value area high is about $31,400. So whether we break, as soon as we decisively break out of this range, guys, because it will happen. It's not going to range forever. So if we break down, I am simply going to look at this blue box as my main level of support. Mostly, I am looking at the value area low. Now, I am definitely paying close attention to the top of the blue box here at $29,290, give or take. But really, when you're looking at the volume profile, this is our macro value area. And if we wind up getting a move all the way to the low, we may want to start looking for long positions to come back up to the high and potentially beyond. And the same thing would go for a move to the upside. If we get a big pump to the upside and we hit the value area high, maybe we even deviate a little bit. If things look bearish, I would be looking for longer term shorts to potentially ride it all the way back down to the value area low. So as soon as we break the local range, which again is right here, once we start breaking this local range decisively, I will, depending on which way we look at, if we break up, I'm looking up at the macro value area high. If we break the local value area high, I'm looking at the macro value area high. If we break the local value area low, I am simply getting rid of this range and looking at the macro value area low. It's a range within a range, a value area within a value area, if that makes sense. So that is what I'm looking for. Those are the major levels of support and resistance. If we get a big move down, write this down, guys. If we get a big breakdown, the most important levels of support are going to be $29,250, let's call it. And the second key level of support is going to be right here at your value area low at $28,670, right? And then 28.8K is right in the middle of there, which is another very key level to watch. So those are the key levels to the downside that I will be looking at for potential longs if we get a bigger move down. If we get a big move up, biggest level of resistance, 31,400. If we break 31,400, I will be looking up here at about 32,000 even, between 32,000 even and about 32,100. Those are the next big levels that I am going to be looking at for resistance to the upside. So again, not too much has really changed here, guys. Simply just looking at the volume profiles and then the local range within the volume profile. And then obviously we have some intermediary levels down here. We have some wicks that may give us some turbulence, but for the most part, this big blue box is the next major level of support, and this value area high and this level up here at 32,1 is going to be the next levels of resistance. So that is shout out to Crimson saying, LMAO, slay the Bears. Let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Astro Zombie said, what is the site for market cap moon math, guys? It is called the Coin Perspective, Astro Zombie. And welcome in, bro. Good to see you here. So that's really what I'm looking for, guys. Simply playing the local range right here. until it is broken. And when it is broken, I will look up towards the value area high. And if it's broken to the downside, I'm looking towards the value area low, as well as the top of this blue box, which is not the value area low, but also a very key level of support. Now, why is that level a key level of support? I'll show you really quickly. And it has a lot to do with the higher time frames, right? If I come up to a higher time frame, you can see here. Let me zoom out a little bit, stretch it out. It's a little bit hard to see, but the top of that blue box is the value area low from the top of the bull market here. And the reason you want to hold that as support is because if you're able to decisively hold that level as support, it opens up the door to potentially get a move up to your POC eventually at about $34,000 or about 34.3, almost 34.4. And I know everybody's really excited about the upside targets, so that's why the top of that blue box is going to be very important. It's also almost in perfect confluence with our more local range here. Actually, I think if I move this back to before we had the breakout, you could see, actually, that's 2 candles shy. Come on. Well, there you go. Value area high coming in perfect confluence. And again, this local value area high would make a lot of sense to come down here and test that level as support because we broke out, right? A lot of people like to say, price likes to revisit the scene of the crime. And what they mean by that is, they like to revisit the price that they broke out from, right? Now, granted, that's not, you broke out of this value area high. You might want to come back and retest that as support before continuing higher. And again, the confluence with that being the macro value area low is actually pretty big. So that's why I'm looking at those levels. These are not just random levels that I think are strong support. There's thought behind these levels and where they came from and why they would actually be good places to hold support. So that's what I'm looking at as far as levels, guys. Other than that, let's check on this super chat from Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf, I appreciate you. And I did see, and he gifted 10 memberships. Let's go. Shout out to Mr. Wolf. Absolutely savage with the gifting memberships, guys. Mr. Wolf, Hannah, Apples Up North, Crypto and Yogurt, tons of people have been gifting memberships. It's absolutely insane. We have over 800 Frankie Candles members. And if you guys have that face emoji or a candle emoji, go ahead and spam it in chat right now. Show off those emojis. But Mr. Wolf said, yo, Frankie, keep on sharing that sauce because it's super authentic. Everyone use the VPVR or VRPR. The VPVR is what I like to call it. And Bookmap, they are both legit. Frankie is the GOAT, so listen and use his advice. Shout out to Mr. Wolf. I really do appreciate not even the super chat, bro. The kind words really does mean a lot. I will just clarify. Advice, sure. Financial advice, absolutely not. Never. Just want to clarify that. Shout out to Mr. Wolf. I appreciate you, bro. I really do, man. You really have been supporting a lot, and we really do appreciate it. There's those face emojis. Let's go. Bing bong. Let's get it. Shout out to Life Far Out in the chat. But guys, that is let's see. Oh, shout out to Astro Zombie. Said you rock. The Junkies Discord was asking. Yeah, man. Coin perspective. Oh, no. Oh, no. Here come the face emojis. Let's go. But guys, that is really the levels that I'm looking at right now. And again, on the live stream tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. for the Bing X live stream that we're going to be doing the live tutorial, I'm really going to start digging. I'm going to dig really deep into the volume profiles. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks that I might not talk about all the time. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. And I'm going to show you guys how I use this in alignment with divergences to spot those trades. So, yeah, definitely tune in there. God, the face emoji's going nuts right now. Let's go, baby. But guys, let's see. Oh, there you go. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob dropping that volume profile. You guys can watch that tutorial video if you want to get a little head start on the live stream tomorrow. Shout out to Rockton Road. Shout out to you, bro. Frankie is legendary. Appreciate the bing bong. Let's go. Bing bong. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. Best sauce in the world. You guys are the best. Oh, come on. Oh, gosh, guys. Oh, gosh. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Best sauce in the world, bro. You guys are crazy. All right, let's go ahead. Pitten is saying choosing my ranges is where I'm having issues. I never know if my value area is the right one or not. Well, we're going to go over that tomorrow. A lot of people ask me, like, where do you pull your ranges from? Simply, guys, I mean, there is a little bit of nuance to it. However, in a simple, there really is no wrong way, right? Like, there's no wrong. There might be a better way to do it and a not better way to do it. Uh, shout out to Dave Digital said, these are kind words. I hope they don't make you cry. I'm not crying, Dave. Shout out to Dave Digital. I appreciate you, bro. Dave's a legend. Shout out to Dave Digital, man. Show some love to Dave in the chat, bro. I appreciate the super chat, and your kind words did make me cry, bro. The manly kind of cry. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dave. Yo, oh my God. G-Life, that's a federal offense. Hang on, I'm getting to that in a second. But really kind of the short story here is if you're looking at basically what I do, guys. Now, again, I will go a little deeper into this tomorrow during the live stream. However, really what I do is I look for sideways price action, right? Like, do I see sideways price action here? Well, yeah, right? Like I could draw a zigzag line, and that basically sums up what's going on here, right? Another easy way to do it is like just draw a line where you have multiple rejections, right? So you see that there's rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, rejection there, right? So draw a line there, right? And then where's the lows? Well, we got to bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. So I would put a line there. So that's definitely some kind of a sideways range. Sure, you deviate once in a while, but for the most part, that's a range. And that's kind of how I would identify sideways price action. And that's what I would pull my range on. So right here, I pull from this candle to this candle just to cover the whole sideways range. And then these are the value areas. That doesn't mean that if you pulled it from these candles that's wrong. It's just a different value area. And coincidentally, I mean, not surprisingly, they're almost the same exact levels, right? And even here, like before, if I go into bar replay mode really quickly, before we wound up, getting that breakout, this it looks sideways, right? We got a rejection, 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 rejection. This is obviously resistance, support, support. This is somewhat support. This is kind of like a sideways range. So pull a range on this. Go to a lower time frame and pull a range on that, right? Go down to the 15-minute and look at this. You have another tradable range. Low, high, low, high, high, low, high? Question mark. But that's a really quick answer to the question. I don't want to harp on that for too long. But shout out to G-Life. He said, oh no, I hope it didn't disappear. G-Life, shout out to G-Life said, I make money every day. And it ain't because of Elena Garcia. And if you guys don't know Elena Garcia, she's the scammer the scammers are in the chat saying that she's like the best trader ever, and if you give her your money, she'll flip it for you. Obviously not the case. Is this a Bart Simpson? Clinton Query. Shout out to Clinton Query, another big supporter of the channel. Appreciate you, bro. This could indeed be a Bart Simpson. Absolutely. And if you don't know what a Bart Simpson pattern is, guys, it is typically when you get a bing, a bong, you get a little Bart Simpson hair here, right? And then, you would put your ear there, put your other ear there. Maybe you got an eye here, another eye there, right? I mean, I know this doesn't look like Bart Simpson. This kind of just looks like a person here, right? And then, that's kind of like, that's what it is, right? And that the hair is the Bart Simpson. But typically when you see these patterns, typically it reverses to the downside. Well, they can happen in either direction, but in this setup, they typically break to the downside. But there you go. Definitely could be a Bart Simpson. Shout out to Clinton. Thank you for pointing that out, bro. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Shout out to Pitt. Pitt and said, you're so awesome, Frankie. Thank you for all you do, brother. No problem, Pitt. I got you, homie. I got you. That was hit. Let's go. Shout out to NL. Appreciate you, bro. All right, let's see. Yeah, Crypto Crabman said, send me one ETH. I'll send you one back. That's Elena Garcia. Don't listen to her. She's a scammer. You're hired. Let's go. Shout out to you. Dilbert. Yeah, looks like Dilbert. Yeah, absolutely. Make that a Bart Simpson NFT. Shout out to Eric Bonici. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, somebody making an NFT. But yeah, guys, that is basically what I am looking at as of right now, just trading the local range. If we get a break lower, you know where we're looking. If we break higher, you now know the key levels to watch. And again, my sentiment remains the same, guys. And I'll be honest, if we do wind up pumping, it's likely to come out of nowhere. So I want to say I'm neutral, but I am still leaning a little bit more towards a move down in the short term before the next big move up. So I'm going to keep that sentiment, but understand we're in a little bit of a weird point in the market. And, sometimes I don't always put like a accuracy feeling on my predictions. But if I could put one here, I definitely lean towards a move down before a move up. But I wouldn't really be, betting the farm on that, right? Because sometimes, again, I'm not going to show it. But when we go back and we compare this to the price action that we had all the way back here, we had a similar thing happening where we had money flow coming out on the 4-hour, but then we got a crazy short squeeze to the upside, in which case I would have been very wrong. We weren't at this time, but just understand we're at a weird point in the market here. I mean, look at this 8-hour candle, guys, like just like a massive wick to the upside. Very wonky price action here, and it's very hard to read. So again, my bias is a move down before a move up, but it's a little bit of a sketchy place here. So if I were to put a kind of a gauge on my predictions, I wouldn't really be putting that much weight on this one. So just take that for what it's worth. It's like the hardest part of my job is like trying to manage expectations. Like when I say I think it's going up, that doesn't necessarily mean we're just going to rip right now or dump right now. It's very hard to manage those expectations. Let's see. But yeah, guys, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin, and I think that basically wraps it up. I mean, even the 8-hour here, money flow continuing to come to the downside, and this compared with those higher time frame red dots up here, again, a big reason why I would favor a move down before another move up. But anything can happen. Always remember that. But yeah, shout out to Dave Digital said 100 X long on farm token. Okay, Frankie, got it loud and clear. Dave Digital is he's got those hidden messages that I give, those subliminal messages on lock. But yeah, guys, shout out to Dion says I'm waiting for 100K to buy. Let's go. But guys, let me just go over the trade. Let me just go over one of these trades really, really quickly. I guess we don't really have to. I'm also waiting for 100K to buy. You guys are too much. Shout out to Harley said, Frankie, I'm gonna slap your sticker on my race car before this weekend. I need a huge one. Shout out to Harley. We actually do. Ignore the cat here, guys. This cat is random and has nothing to do with Frankie Candles. But check out the Frankie Candle stickers. Coming to a merch store near you very, very soon. And it's not just this one. I think we have more as well. We'll have to get some candles up in there as well. But yeah, that'd be crazy, dude. If you wind up getting a sticker on your race car, bro, please send me a picture. I would love to see it. But yeah, shout out to Ken Barkoff. What is going on, bro? With all that being said, guys, with all that being said, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. And yeah, we're actually just in time for the altcoins. I will go ahead and start with Ethereum, but if you want me to see or take a look at your favorite altcoin, go ahead and spam them in chat right now. Rob the Crypto Snobs gonna count up the votes and let me know which altcoins we're gonna be looking at, and then we'll get into it. All right, let's see. Long squeeze coming before the move up. Gotta get rid of as many of the free riders as possible, just like the move up got rid of all the shorters. Absolutely, this move up and this move up, basically, like this was a clear liquidity grab to take out all the shorts that are above, or all the stops, short stops, shout out to baseball, that were above these 4-hour highs, right? So you had people going short, right? You have people going short at the top of the range. Oh my God, the altcoins are flying in. You have the shorts from the top of the range, right? You probably have a lot of people going short. So we have a lot of stop losses throughout this whole range living up here. And this wick, and this is not wick 589. This is just wick. This wick just came out and basically just grabbed all the liquidity up here before reversing price. Same thing here, probably just to take out all the shorts before potentially continuing to the downside. So that's kind of what we're looking at, guys. Just still the same old sentiment. And if we wind up being right, I will be so happy that I stuck to my guns. And if I'm wrong, I'll still be happy because we'll be out of the range. And there's no way someone could be right 100% of the time. So I honestly feel like we've been getting it so right so much. I feel like we might be due to be pretty wrong here. But anyway, let's see. Frankie, shout out to Apples Up North, said Frankie has cute kitten stickers on his phone. I'm leaving now. I don't know if this cat is cute. Is that a cute cat? I think it's like maybe a drug addicted cat. I don't know. It looks like a lowlife, to be honest. Looks like a criminal cat. Shout out to Apples Up North. Yeah, you're funny, man. But all right, let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Cosmos, Crow, TA, please, and your XRP video yesterday was fire. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate that. If you guys have not checked out the XRP video, it probably will be the giveaway video this week, so go check that out. If you're looking to become a millionaire with XRP, definitely check out that video. Shout out to Beth Up, said WTF, Frankie. I don't know. WTF. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on to the altcoins, guys. Taking a look at Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. Here we are. Take a look at Ethereum, guys. We are just simply looking at two ranges once again. You have a macro range and a local range, right? So your more macro levels are going to be, key level of resistance, 1922. Great year. Your POC coming in at 1816. 1818 is the level that I'm watching. And then your value area low is coming in at about 1734. So these are the macro levels you're looking at, right? And if you zoom in just a little bit, these are the local. This is basically the local range I'm looking at, with your value area low down here at about 1850, your POC at about 1880, and your value area high at about 1920, right? Same as your macro value area high. So at this point, you're basically just looking at the local range. And again, like, speaking of where you could pull these ranges from, like you see sideways price action here, pull a range there. See what the levels give you, right? But anyway, this is what I would be looking for. Red dot is printing on the 2-hour time frame. Could potentially give you a little bit more downside. Your daily VWAP is looking to cross over into the green. Now, this is kind of where the mixed signals wind up popping up. And it's really on the daily, because even on the Bitcoin chart, guys, this daily time frame, I'll be honest, before we got that dump, was looking pretty bullish, right? Like, we were not only getting the green dot to print, which has now since disappeared, we have the green dot and the money flow crossover happening at the exact same time. This is sometimes a very powerful move. They're a very powerful signal that you're about to get a big move to the upside. So just real quick, before I continue with Ethereum, I will say this. If we are indeed going to get a big move up, if my thesis is wrong, right, and we don't come down before we go up, this green dot and this money flow crossover on the daily is likely going to be the thing that gives you that big move up. Again, less likely situation in my opinion. But if you are going to get that big move up, that money flow crossover and that green dot on the daily would be the bullish case 100%. So keep that in mind. But then back to Ethereum, kind of the same thing. VWAP coming up, money flow not, also coming up, not crossing into the green like on Bitcoin. But even in general here, guys, like even just over time, since we got this big pump up, right? Look where money flow is. We came up into a big green wave, back into the red, and then back into a big green wave, and then back into the red, and then back into a green wave. But what do all these green waves have in common? Well, every single one that comes up a little bit less than the previous one, right? So this is technically trending to the downside. I would consider this money flow somewhat trending to the downside over time, right? Like, this is clearly coming out. Now, again, locally, it is definitely coming up, right? That's very clear. But over time, we are getting a less big wave and a smaller wave and a smaller wave, which could just kind of show us that money flow is generally cruising to the downside, which would be a little bit more bearish, right? And then coming up to the 4-hour, very, very kind of different than Bitcoin. Money flow deep in the red here. But yeah, kind of your bullish case does lie on the daily green dot with your money flow coming up. Doesn't look as pretty as Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks much better. But you could watch the same thing on Ethereum. But just at the end of the day here, guys, I mean, is this confirmed? Yeah, 8-hour, 8-hour money flow coming out. 6-hour money flow is deep in the red. 10-hour money flow is coming out. VWAP also rolling over. This would indicate to me that we would, again, like, follow the money flow. Money flow is the thing that is very rarely wrong. So this is what gives me the bias to the downside. It's a big reason why we were looking for that short on Bitcoin at this local golden pocket, right? If I hide this stuff, it's a big reason why I was looking for a short where we were in the premium right here at this golden pocket. It's because with money flow coming out, you would expect that any move to the upside would be to potentially put in a lower high before continuing back to the downside. So again, this is like one of the big reasons why we were looking at that short. But anyway, coming back to Ethereum, key levels, right? Like, just back to the key levels. Same sentiment, money flow coming out. clearly. But, key levels, your next level of support is going to be the value area low at 1848 or 1850, right? It's going to be your next immediate level of support. If you break that level, you are likely going to come down to the POC of the range at about 1818. And when you're looking at your volume profile, at least the big volume profile here, let me hide this stuff, right? When you're looking at this bigger volume profile, what are we dealing with? Well, we went from the low, we deviated from the low, flipped the value area low to support, and we came to the value area high, just as expected, right? Then we came down to the POC, got a nice bounce back into the value area high, and then we rejected the value area high, and now we could be on our way to that POC, and potentially, just due to the laws of the volume profile, we could be expecting potentially to get back down to the value area low at 1730. And again, this is just based off the volume profile. Let me get rid of this line too. Again, like when in doubt, just zoom out and keep it simple. You go from the low, flip it to support, to the high, right? Once you eventually reject the high and you're back in that range, right? Right here, we lost that value area high, and we are now accepted back into the range. So even if we come back up to the high here, we are potentially expecting to come down to that POC and potentially the value area low just based off the rules of the volume profile. But money flow would also be on your side on this, at least on the medium time frames. 4-day, VWAP is coming to the downside. So your VWAP is looking for a red dot here as well. This would indicate another move down, right? 3-day, red dot is printing. This stuff indicates moves down, especially when the money flow on the medium time frames is coming out. Does this make sense? Now, it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed, right? Like, I don't want people saying, like, what the heck? You said money flow was coming out, but I thought we were going down. Anything can happen here, guys. But the thing to understand here, guys, like almost every time we see this happen, we get a move down. And again, I am bullish more in the long term, right? Again, these moves down, I'm expecting to be somewhat lackluster before putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside. But again, like I'm just bringing the information on the charts. Sometimes that information doesn't wind up playing out, but this is just what I'm seeing on the charts, and I have to bring this to you 100%, 100% unbiasedly, right? Like this is not based off my emotion. This is based off what's on the charts. So that's what I'm looking for. And again, like really the main thing fighting against you on that really would just be that daily green dot. If that prints again with the money flow crossover on the, like this looks, the daily on Bitcoin looks super bullish. Like this looks pretty bullish to me. Right? But again, that's that medium time frame, the money flow, that's not really in agreement with that. So that's what I'd be looking at on Ethereum. Those are the key levels. And again, just kind of expecting the same thing as Bitcoin. So yeah, there we go. All right. Shout out to Tony D for Algo. Well, shout out to Steady Vic. I don't know exactly what they mean, but shout out to Tony D for Algo. But yeah. Oh, did he add Algo? Yeah, he added Algo to the list. Okay. Bitcoin looking green again. Yeah, back up to $30,350. Now, one thing to realize here on Bitcoin in the short term, guys, is your VWAP on the 4-hour is starting to cool off here, right? So at this point, let's spawn the range here. Yeah, I mean, we basically went to the high, back to the low. Yeah, I would probably be looking to here's kind of the current state of me right now. With the 2-hour red dot, with the 3-hour red dot looking to print, and the 4-hour VWAP cooling off with money flow coming out, if we do get another bounce up here, right, I'll pull this local fib from the high to the low. If we get another move up here, right, if we get another little retracement, let me get rid of this fib. If we get a retracement here, I will be looking at these two very specific levels for a rejection, and I will be looking to potentially re-enter a short on these levels. If we get a bounce up into this golden pocket 786 retracement level between about 30,500 and 30,596, I will potentially be looking to re-enter a short there. Or I shouldn't say re-enter. I should just say enter because I didn't get stopped out here. I just didn't get the entry. But if we break these levels, I will then again look up into this golden pocket or this 786 retracement level at between about 30,691 and 30,838. And again, you want to remember when price dumps like this or gets any kind of move down, a lot of times you like to come up and test those golden pocket retracements before continuing back down. So that is why I am looking at that level for the retracements. So that's kind of how I would play this in the short term, just because of the 4-hour VWAP and the 3-hour red dot looking to print. Any kind of short-term move up, I would probably look to short that back to the downside because that's just what it's looking like. All right, let's see. Yeah, the 8-hour also. 8-hour is another time frame that would have a somewhat bullish bias. Now again, money flow. So in the not in the immediate term, money flow is coming out on the 8 hours. So that would kind of be in agreement with the 4-hour and the bearishness that we're seeing in the money flow. But your 8-hour green dot is printing. So short term, that may continue to push you up. But because money flow is coming down, I would probably favor shorting the lower high. Yeah, 4 hours now crossing over into the red. That is oh, wait. I'm not seeing that. Apples up north. We did cross over into the red. You're likely to get another crossover into the red, in my opinion, though. Maybe the Heikenashis. Yeah, Heikenashis are about to go back in the red as well. Yeah, all short 30,700. Mark, shout out to you, bro. That's basically where we were looking for the short earlier today, but I missed the entry. Shout out to Karn. Says Frankie looks like a mafia marksman. Let's go. Hey, they don't call me Frankie the Sniper for nothing. But anyway, shout out to you, bro. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. We got 824 people in here, or 812 people in here. We are going for 650 likes. If we get 650 likes, we will spin that wheel 15 times. And we might even go ahead and add some more fire merch to those giveaways. But yeah, we'll add something... fun to the giveaways if we get 650 likes, but we will definitely spin the wheel 15 times if we get that like goal. All right, let's continue on here. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first altcoin, which is going to be Algo. Let's see. Get rid of Bybit here. And let's check Binance Tether US. Yeah, Algo just getting absolutely murked, guys. Yeah, luckily I didn't DCA into this early. Yeah, it's just getting absolutely wrecked. But yeah, listen, I think Algo is a good project. I will look to accumulate it for the bull run, for sure. But thank God I did not dollar cost average into this when I dollar cost averaged into a lot of other things, because it would have gotten absolutely stepped on. But yeah, I mean, every time we look at Algo, guys, it just always looks bad. Like, very rarely do we take a look at Algo. I mean, this thing has just basically been going down with very, very, almost no relief whatsoever. Yeah, literally almost no relief whatsoever. So pretty crazy. But do they call you that, Frankie? Do they really? Frankie the Sniper? No one's ever called me that, ever. I am a good shot, though. I will say that. All right, let's see. Yeah, what will happen to Algo if Bitcoin goes down? Probably go down more. So, yeah, that's something you got to be very, very, very careful of. I've got a huge bag from last bull run. I only sold 50%. I had the rest, locked in governance. Oh, boy, Algo is lost. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm bullish on the project. It's just been getting absolutely hammered lately. But anyway, let's take a look. I mean, I don't know. I'm really going to be able to pull anything. Yeah, I mean, 5-day looking for the red dot. 6-day looking for the red dot. The weekly's looking for the red dot. I don't know if this is the bottom. This is likely. If you get this red dot on the weekly, this is likely not the bottom for Algo. I'll be honest. Like 3-day red dot confirmed, 4-day printing a red dot. I mean, are we getting any kind of crazy signals on Market Cipher? Yeah, yellow X on the 4-day for Algo. Guys, this is not good. This is not good, guys. This is a high time frame to get a yellow X on. And, like, obviously, with the yellow X's, guys, the first two are the whoops. That is a fib. That is not what I wanted. The first two yellow X's are the ones that are going to bring you down big time. And then the third, the fourth, and sometimes the fifth and sixth could indicate seller exhaustion. So keep that in mind. But again, red dot on the 4-day, likely going to give you a little bit more downside. Confirmed yellow X here on the 3-day. Let's take a look at the short term. The shorter term does look a little better. Maybe you get a little double bottom here in the short term. Your momentum is coming to the upside. Your money flow is also coming to the upside, as well as your VWAP. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get some kind of a bounce here, a little bit more short-term on Algo. But let's continue on here. 16-hour green dot printing with your money flow. So money flow on the 16 and the 12-hour looks pretty good with the green dots as well. Let me see. Is that 16-hour green dot printing? Yes. Let's check the lower time frames. Money flow. Yeah. I mean, if Bitcoin doesn't absolutely dump again, I do think that shorter term, once you get that daily green dot on algo, you will likely see some kind of a bounce come in here, because not only do you have the green dot and money flow coming up on the daily with momentum coming up as well, but the 16-hour money flow crossover into the green is pretty bullish. So is the 12-hour money flow crossover into the green. Yeah, and then these time frames kind of get a little bit more foggy like it is on Bitcoin, but even your 4 and 5 hours starting to come back up. Yeah, I would be careful, because if Bitcoin dumps, this is going to absolutely get roasted. But you know, you got a little, yeah. I short term, once you get that green dot on the daily, I do think you might be able to come up a little bit more short term. But I would be careful with those yellow X's on the higher time frames and red dots, because those are very, very bearish for the most part. And yeah, if we do get a bounce, I may look to come up to this golden pocket at about 12 cents. So that's kind of what I would be. That's kind of what I would be looking for. On algo, there we go. All right, let's see. Everyone will sell it on the first bounce, potentially. Let's see. Frankie, if you did a trading exam, would you get 90% success? I don't know. Potentially. I would hope I got 100. But yeah, I don't know. Depends on the questions. Shout out to Karn. Yeah, maybe. I wonder if you can find those online. Maybe we'll do one on a live stream one day. Really test the knowledge. But yeah, it's really funny too, because like as a trader, it's funny, like you could have really successful traders fail a trading quiz or test depending on what information is on it, right? Like if you gave me a market, like if market cipher questions were on my trading exam, I'm going to ace that, right? But there's really successful traders that don't even know what market cipher is, right? So like they would get all those wrong, but it doesn't make them bad traders, right? So I don't think it would be a really easy thing to test. Shout out to Nate Quantum Divergence at Frankie Candles. You're a G. You're a G too. Shout out to Nate. I appreciate you, bro. Let's go. All right, let's see. Bada boom. All right, next altcoin is going to be XRP. Now I took a look at XRP a little bit earlier today, and it was kind of boring. There's not really much going on here. Now, let me see if I can pull up. Let me pull up our actual XRP chart here real quick. Is this our actual chart? I think it is. All right. Yeah. So this is essentially what we're looking at here, guys. Let me label this as point of control. And I will label this as value area high. Previous value area high. So this is kind of the range that we're trading in, right? I'm actually going to hide this other volume profile really quickly just so we can get a clearer look here, right? So this is kind of what we're looking at, guys. We are basically just hanging out in this area of balance, right? Again, value area low, POC, value area high. What happened here? We got rejected from the high, very similar to what we just saw on Bitcoin. Deviated, got rejected, bearish retest, came to the POC, lost the POC, right to the value area low. Got a bounce, flipped the value area low, or didn't flip it to support, but was able to hold support on the value area low. Where did we go? Right up to that POC as expected. We rejected the POC. Now, we didn't come down to the value area low, so we could potentially expect to come back up to the POC and the value area high. But the point is here, guys, is this is what we're looking at. These are the main levels we're looking at, and I would even, potentially pull a more local range here, like this, to get a little bit more of a nuanced view. But I'm not even going to bring those levels up because we could just basically look at these levels. XRP has been very uneventful lately, just kind of bing-bonging around, consolidating, up, down, bing-bong, just kind of boring, right? So until we wind up breaking above this value area high or below this value area low, I am not looking for anything crazy on XRP until we can get out of this range, right? And if you guys watch the channel, you guys will be familiar with the higher targets we have for XRP based off of, again, volume profiles. But I'm not going to get all into that just yet. But I will say this. If we wind up, let me turn on the VPVR really quickly. And let me turn off these levels just boom, 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 right? If look at the gaps here, right? We have a little bit of a volume gap here. So look at where the volume is. These high volume nodes act as a magnet. So that's why price bing bongs around up here, right? And then when we lose that, look at this big gap. There is not a lot of interest in XRP at these prices. So price absolutely flies through these levels, right? Quick move up, quick move down, quick move up, quick move down, quick move up, and that is because you have a volume gap here. So with that being said, what can we expect? If we wind up breaking this value area low, we can expect a potential quick move back down to this previous value area with our value area high of that range coming in at about 41 cents. If we get below that level, you could expect to potentially get accepted back into this range and start to head towards that POC at 37 cents and potentially even the value area low at 32 cents. Now, obviously, we're pretty far away from that, but that's kind of what I would expect. If we get a break below this level, I would look for a pretty quick move down to about 41 cents. If we continue up to the value area high and we get a breakout of the value area high, where can we expect price to go? Well, for that answer, we're going to have to look at things as, a little bit more of a macro range. I don't know. I'll give you guys some local levels here. I'm not going to dig into, the super, super high up levels because, I don't think we're getting there anytime soon. But kind of actually zooming out here, keeping the VPVR, come up to the 3-day. Just taking a look at where the volume is here, guys. You could see that, this big high volume node ends at about 53 cents, basically where these highs are right here, right? So we could crack these highs up here at about 53, 54 cents. I do think that is where we will see a pretty quick move up to about 60 cents, which is kind of where we wicked up to on these candles. But what are we hitting there? We also have another massive level of resistance there because we have all this support that is going to fight us on the way back up. And if we pull a range kind of just on this sideways price action here, and I unextend it so it doesn't show us that entire area of price action, you can see here at about 63 cents, depending on where you pull the range, it will give you slightly different numbers. But between like 60 and 63 cents, you can see this value area low does come up here. You can also see this is in correlation with a little spike in volume. So if we wind up breaking out of this value area high, it opens up the door to potentially crack that 53 cent level to give us a quick move up to our next value area low between 60 and 63 cents. And then once you flip that, that's where you can look for a bigger move up for XRP. But again, I think we're pretty far away from that. Again, just really keeping an eye on this more local range that we are looking at right here with our value area low at about 45 cents or 45.5 cents, POC at about 48.4896 cents, and then your value area high at about 50 cents. All right, let's see. Let's see. Most likely XRP goes under a penny. Oh, God. I don't think XRP will go under a penny. Even if they lose the lawsuit here, I don't think Ripple will just die. So I don't really see a situation where it goes to zero. But then again, anything is possible, right? All right, let's see. According to your XRP video, we will reach $20. We will all be rich AFK. Nabil, shout out to Nabil. Yes, well, that is assuming best case scenario. I do think that the most realistic price predictions for XRP, I get this question all the time. It's like one of the most asked questions I get is how high can XRP go if they win the lawsuit? I know I was talking to BJ, our technical director, about this today. A lot of people, I don't know where they get this from. They think it's going to 10K. That's literally, unless the value of money is just completely out of whack and inflation is like unrealistically crazy. Like even if, there's no situation really where XRP can ever hit $10,000. It's like not mathematically possible. Like you would need more money than there is in the world to get XRP to a market cap where it could be worth $10,000. Now, a more realistic price prediction for XRP, in my opinion, if they win the lawsuit, is between $5 and $10. That is like $5 is like a realistic, the most realistic situation. $10 is a super moon boy prediction. Or I should say like the best case scenario. And then $20 is as high as I'm willing to even entertain as an idea because it's not impossible. in my opinion, it's much more unlikely. $20 for XRP is very unlikely compared to the other price predictions, such as $5 or $10. Those are much more realistic. $20 is like really, really, really high. I don't personally think it'll go to $20. But if it does, great. I'm more in the camp of personally believing that it could be between $5 and $10. $20, again, not impossible like $10,000 is. Like $10,000 is not possible. At least as the way math works right now, it's impossible. $20 is not necessarily impossible, but I still think it's a little bit of a reach. But yeah. Tyler Durden said $1 million XRP, $1 million XRP. Hey, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe 10K XRP. I don't know where that calculation comes from. Like, I don't know what. I don't know why they think it can go to to $10,000. Maybe there's some kind of crazy logic behind it that I don't understand. But it's the way things work right now, it's not possible. But yeah, who knows? I think it's more of like a conspiracy. Yeah, TikTok influencers are a scam. They say XRP will hit 10K. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you listen to it's like a lot of TikTok people that are telling you that like Super Lambo Doge Elon Mars is going to be the next Dogecoin. It's like all those people, like they pop up when things are pumping and then they disappear when things go away, right? Like think about that. They're only there when the attention is there. They are seeking your attention, right? Like when the bull run comes, you're going to see influencers pop up left and right, guys. Just understand that these people were not here in the bull market, in the bear market, right? And I'm not saying that a new good influencer can't start in the bull market. That's totally possible. But just understand, when you get all these new TikTok people popping up left and right, like even when Bitcoin just pumped recently, my TikTok was full of crypto. My TikTok had not had any crypto in it throughout the whole bear market. No one cared, unless they were talking about it going to zero, right? The second we get a little action on Bitcoin, all of a sudden everybody and their grandma has the next best meme coin, right? These people are there to take advantage of retail traders, right? They're there to take advantage of the attention that crypto has so they can cash in on stuff and then likely dump it on their audience, right? But anyway, I digress. But let's see. If XRP was going to 10K, that's my other thing. If XRP did go to 10K, if you think that they're just going to let billionaires, tons of billionaires get printed out of nowhere, I think you got another thing coming. I think even if that were the case, it's very unlikely that they're just going to let that go. Something's going to happen. They're going to like confiscate it or something. But anyway, listen, I hope that I hope it goes to 10K. It's just not in my opinion, never going to happen. V-Slim said delete TikTok. Yes, probably a good idea. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Matic. Let's take a look at Matic. Bada boom, bada bing. How we doing on time? Oh, we're good. All right, let's take a look at Tether US. Here we go. All right, let's zoom in a tad. Okay. I don't know. Oh, this is from earlier today. All right. I'm just going to clear this stuff and start nice and fresh. Let's see. Chinese spyware, potentially. Yeah, Incognito says 25 XRP for a Lambo, easy. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, listen, guys, I hope so. If XRP hits $10,000, I'll give away 100 private jets. Let's put it that way, right? Like, yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling if XRP went to $10,000, there would be a new richest person in the world for sure. Elon Musk would get stepped on. These crazy XRP people that have a ton of XRP and they were buying it at a cent. These people, it's going to be a new richest person in the world for sure. All right, let's see. All right, let's. Yeah, exactly. ARMS. Yeah. 10K through inflation, dollar inflation. Yeah. All right, taking a look at Matic here. Taking a look at the daily. I like Matic for what it's worth. I don't think Matic will go to 10K either, but I do like Matic. Money flow crossing over into the green on the daily with your green dot confirmed. This is somewhat of a bullish sign, guys. Take a look at the 16-hour money flow. Also looks good. 12-hour also looks good. 10-hour thick in the green. Taking a look at your 8-hour coming up. Yeah, Matic doesn't look horrible, guys. 2-day money flow coming up. You're a little overextended here on your VWAP. Taking a look at your 3-day, your 5-day. Yeah, weekly green dot confirmed. 2-week green dot looking to print somewhat soon here, guys. Matic doesn't look horrible. Matic does not look horrible. But we are somewhat, like, this is a little bit of a harsh angle for me. But, yeah, I mean, somewhat of a bear flag here, potentially, as you are approaching the highs here. But your money flow is pointing in the upward direction, guys. So money flow is pointing up. So, you know, if I were looking for a short here, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for this to nuke to new lows. Could Crow go to 10K? Maybe. Let's see. But yeah, that is yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Roizen. Hopefully I said that right. Like, if we hit $5, I'm selling my XRP aggressively, right? I'm maybe not selling it all, but I'm taking profits aggressively. All right, let's see. But yeah, this is somewhat of a bear flag here, guys. But again, if I was looking to short, I would not be looking to short this thing down to 0 or like lower lows. I would potentially, though, look to short it either back down to the bottom of the bear flag, if this is indeed a bear flag, right? I would look to potentially short it back down to the bottom of the bear flag, or if we go ahead and pull a bit of a range here, you can see we are leaving the range. We could look for a short down to the value area high, right? Like, this is kind of, you know, might look for a short back down to the value area high. You know that's likely a place you could get a bounce, but you maybe look for a short-term dump, right, to the value area high, and then if you wind up losing the value area high and you get accepted back into the range, you could potentially look for a ride back down to about 59 cents. So that's kind of what I would look at on Matic as far as a potential upcoming trade. But yeah, just in the you know, just in the immediate term here, you know, you are getting some bear divs on the 4-hour, right? You got your lower highs, right? Lower highs on your momentum waves, right? Higher highs on your price action. Could potentially give you that reversal. Again, looking for a potential move back down to the value area high. So if you do get that move, that's basically the level I would be looking at, guys. Looking at that value area high. Do you have confluence? Oh, baby, guys, look at the confluence. I like to call this confluence, right? Confluence. We're fancy over here, guys. That is right about where I would be looking to take that thing down to if I were to short it. I am not in a short on it, but if I was, I would definitely be taking profits here. And if you were in a trade like that, you would be able to, if you get it from here down. Now, no guarantees it comes down. A 6-7% move almost. That is plenty of room to make some money, guys. But again, VWAP rolling over on the 4-hour. Your 2-hour looking for the red dot, looking to print those bearish divergences. She's looking kind of toppy, guys. She's looking kind of toppy. Now, I will say this. The daily does still look somewhat bullish. So, again, I would not be looking to short this thing to the floor. I would be looking for this to be a lackluster move down. I would more be looking for this to be a lackluster move down before putting in a higher low and then continuing to the upside because of the way that your money flow looks on those higher time frames. But, again, medium term or, you know, shorter term, your money flow is coming out here. 1 hour looking for a crossover into the red somewhat soon here. Your 12-hour VWAP, or you got a fresh green dot on the 12-hour, so no confluence there. 16 hours a little overextended. So, yeah, I will say that, like, Matic's not looking too bad. But in the short term, I don't know how much longer this like, whole yeet move to the upside is going to last because you are getting divergences here on your 90-minute, your 1 hour, and your 2-hour, and your 4-hour, right? But it's just not printing on your 4-hour just yet. Is your 3-hour printing? Yeah. Money flow coming out, bearish divergence. You know, what kind of resistance are we against? Let's take a look. Let me get out of full screen mode here, guys, real quick. Boom. Okay. You know, how high can we go, right? Or I'm sorry, how strong is this resistance that we're sitting at right now? Well, let me pull this little golden pocket from this high all the way to the low. That is not the golden pocket that we are testing. Let's come down to the 4-hour and see if we could find out where our local golden pocket is. Let's see. Pull it from here. Not my favorite. Maybe from there. Let's zoom out here. Pull up the VPVR. VRVP. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you are hitting a pretty important level here. Let me zoom out just a bit. Right? Like, what caused that big pump to the upside, guys? Let's zoom in and find out. Well, if we zoom in here, look at the gap, right? We break through our resistance here at about 70 cents. You move through the gap very quickly, and where did we tap out? Where did we tap out, guys? I'm going to draw a line here. Where did we tap out? Right where the volume starts picking back up, right? Big gap, and then you start to pick it up right here where that high volume starts to come right back in, right? And you could think of this as, some people call them ledges, some people call them shelves. I just like to call it resistance, right? And I just zoomed out a lot, so you can't really see it anymore. But that's basically where we rejected, guys, was essentially this. It's hard to see because it keeps moving. But you're hitting up against this high volume node, right? You flew through the gap, and now you're starting to hit into more of this volume. So it is somewhat of a decent area of resistance. Is it a value area low? Let's go ahead and do something crazy here. Let's pull our whole our volume right here. Yeah, so it is pretty close to your value area low of your macro range from the top of the bull market, right? Or let me go ahead and pull this to the end of the range right before the breakdown. And yeah, you can see here, it's basically kind of where we're sitting at right now. Very, very close. Very close. So definitely not a bad place to bearishly retest. We actually may flip it to support. Yeah, look at that. We're trying to hold this as support. But once you lose this, I would look for a potential move down to this blue box coming in at about 68 cents. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at on Matic. There you go. A little bit of sauce on Matic. Yeah, shout out to V-Slim. Said, show Frankie the charts and he'll tell you the news. V-Slim, shout out to V-Slim. I'll say this, bro. It really is quite insane. Like, the amount of times I'm in a trade and someone says, oh, my God, it's ripping. Did you hear they just approved this? Or this great news just came out. And I'm like, dude, I longed the bottom of the range on some bullish confirmations. Like, I didn't know the news was going to happen today. Like, people always say, like, bro, how are you always short at the top? Or how are you always long from the bottom? And I'm like, people, like, get mad. They're like someone will be like, you in a long? And they're like, yeah. They're like, figures. We're just ripped. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know what the news is. I just look at the charts, guys. And I'm not saying the news isn't what moves the price. I'm just saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't care if the news moves the price or the charts move the price. If the strategy I use on the charts works, that's all I care about. If it makes you money, that's the thing, is like, a lot of people will tell you, like, oh, the charts are BS. They don't work. Like, you can't just look at the charts and make money. And it's like, well, it's working, right? Like, I think, people, I think I heard Crypto Face say this one time for spider lines, right? If you guys don't know what spider lines are, let me see if I can pull them up for you. Spider lines are just diagonal levels of support and resistance. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. They're just dynamic areas of, or not dynamic, but they're just diagonal levels of support and resistance. And yeah, like this, right? So these are essentially spider lines, right? These diagonal lines that run up like this. And I think someone said, like, I think CryptoFace was saying, people were talking trash, saying, like, spider lines are, like, they're not just magical lines. You can't trade based off of magical lines. And I think he said, he's like, even if it was just randomly working, like, it's working. So, like, it doesn't even matter. I don't care why it rejects off this level. It's fascinating that the spider lines work as support and resistance so well, but people will be like, well, explain it. Like, you don't have to be able to explain it. It works, right? So if it works, why ask questions, right? But anyway, let's continue on. Shout out to Mitchell. No problem, brother. Free V-Slim. No way. We all love filling the gaps. Let's go. Oh, no. I don't know. Are we locking up V-Slim? Nobody, don't lock up V-Slim. Protect V-Slim at all costs. I'm just kidding, guys. Well, protect him, but, Anyway. All right, let's continue on here. That was no, that wasn't XRP. What was that? That was Matic. Let's take a look at ADA, or Cardonzo, as James Kramer would say. Shout out to James. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Let's see. Take a look at the 4-hour. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, and we're going to start fresh on Cardano. I mean, guys, this doesn't look good. Just structurally, this doesn't look it doesn't look the best. Take a look at the daily. I mean, hey guys, look at the daily blood diamond, guys. Look at the daily blood diamond. Look at this. Now this was June 5th before the absolute nuke. These blood diamonds look at this blood diamond back here. Not bad. Gotta love the blood diamonds. Anyway. Let's see. Money flow. I am shocked that this is not another daily blood diamond, to be honest with you. But here we are. Money flow coming to the upside. That would be bullish. Red dot printing. That would not be bullish. So the mixed signals are out here on Cardano. 2-day. Red dot looking to print. 3-day. VWAP cooling off. Yeah, these higher daily time frames, guys, do look like they want to cool off. Take a look at the 16-hour green dot printing. 12-hour green dot printing. Let's take a look at those lower time frames. As you guys know, when you get a 16-hour green dot or a 12-hour green dot, sometimes these time frames down here, if you get those money flow crossovers into the green, could make for a big move to the upside. I'm not really seeing too much confluence here. Yeah, money flow generally coming out on the 4-hour. 3-hour generally coming out as well. Yeah, and no bearish divergence. You do have the bear div here on your 2-hour, though. I would look for this thing to potentially cool off a bit more. But let's go ahead and pull a range here. There we go. If you do wind up getting a cool off here, you do have the slight bearish divergence here with your higher highs on price and your lower highs on your momentum waves. VWAP looking for the red dot. This red dot, if it breaks you below the POC, right? If we look at it more of a local, if we look more at the local range here, yeah, this is probably the range I would look at in the meantime while we're waiting for the macro to kind of play out here. Let's come down to a lower time frame. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, you got the 15-minute bear div. Yeah, so you're deviating from your high. You are now getting accepted back into your local range. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, guys, if we, yeah, where's that red dot? That 1-hour red dot is confirmed. I'd look for the 2-hour red dot to print. And, again, like, what happened here? We went from the low, broke back into the range, flipped the value area low to support, back to the POC, back to the high. Deviation, bearish confirmation, which was this bearish, yeah, somewhat of a 15-minute bear div, kind of. And now we've broken back below the value area high, and we are now currently bearishly retesting. If we get accepted back into this area of balance, guys, if we get accepted, if we can't get back above this value area high, and this is indeed a bearish retest, I would look for a potential revisit back down to the bottom of the range. Or, potentially, you know, with money flow looking the way, I will say this, guys, most things, almost everything looks bullish on the daily. But there's not a lot of confluence. So I will say that, like, a lot of things have money flow coming up on the daily with your VWAPs looking for the green dots as well. So, you know, the daily does look bullish on a lot of things. However, when looking at ADA here, this is definitely, you could be getting accepted into the range here. If you get accepted in, I would look for a move down to your POC and then a potentially down to your value area low. And then, you know, looking at the bearish retest here, you know, looking for some confirmations, not quite getting them on the 1 minute yet or the 3 minute yet. Yeah, nothing really saying enter a trade as of right now. But yeah, that's kind of the levels I would be looking at. If you can't get back above this value area high, I'd look to come to the POC and then the value area low. Value area low coming in at 28 cents. All right, let's see. 1,000 ADA could make you a millionaire if it hits $1,000. Let's go. We should go see what the what causes the blood diamond. Apples up north. I actually don't know exactly what causes the blood diamonds, but they do typically print when you get like sometimes, most of the time when they do print. I mean, okay, it's just proven me wrong here. A lot of times when they print, it is when you print a red dot very close to the 0 line. That is oftentimes when I see them pop up. However, that is not always the case. You can see one popped up here. You were not that close to the 0 line. You had one pop up here as well, not that close to the 0 line. But more often than not, it's when you get a red dot super close to the 0 line, like that example I just showed you. I don't know where it went. Right here, right, like that. But there you go. Let's continue on here. I got it, Frank. Shout out to Dave Digital. Just wanted to drop some dad humor with my quick visit. Got to bounce for baby celebration. Hey, shout out to Cade. Did you just have a baby? Shout out to Cade. Congratulations if you did. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for tuning in and coming in to drop a bing bong in here. Let's go. Jessica said, I love the new Frankie Candles emoji. Shout out to Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. Jessica, that one was against my will. That one was indeed against my will. But hey, I can't hate it, right? Shout out to Jessica. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Okay, Mark Dutch, fake pasta. Shout out to you, bro. Fake pasta, impasta. Let's go. Is there an imposter in here? Is someone posing as Frankie Candelabra? Let's see. All right, let's jump into our next altcoin, which is going to be H-Bar. Jumping on in. Here we go. Taking a look at the Binance USD chart. Here we go. Okay. All right. I thought we were at the current price action. This is like a wild ride here. All right. Zooming in here. You know what? Let's go ahead and clear this thing. Oh, fake noodles and pasta. Are you saying fake noodles in pasta or fake noodles in pasta? I don't know. Shout out to you guys. Oh, no. Oh, no. Tony D, get out of here. Tony D, go home. Apples Up North said ChatGPT says Market Cipher Blood Diamonds is from variety of possible factors that aren't exactly known because Market Cipher is proprietary. Well, there you go. Shout out to Apples Up North. Thank you for looking into that. Maybe I do know Crypto Face. Maybe I can ask him, and maybe I don't know if he'll share this. He might not even share the secret. It might be secret. I don't know. We can ask him. Actually, I think we did ask him when he came on the show, and he was kind of like, can't really tell you, but they do pop up when this happens. But he didn't really give us the straight answer, which, yeah, shout out to Crypto Face. I think it has something to do with a death cross on a higher time frame. I assume it has something to do with some kind of EMA crossover. That's a total guess, though. All right, let's continue on. Let's see. All right, let's take a look here at H-Bar. All right, take a look at the daily. Money flow starting to come up. Yeah, looking for the green dot. Like the daily, guys. The daily, like it looks a little bit better on some things than others, but the daily's really your bullish case on a lot of this stuff. Shout out to everybody using the emojis in chat right now. But yeah, momentum's coming up. Money flow's coming up. The VWAP is also coming up. This could be, a sign for some more upside. Your 16-hour money flow is crossing over into the green. Your 12-hour money flow is crossing over into the green. Again, more of a sign of a bullish uptrend to continue here. But then you start to come down to some of the lower time frames. You look at the 4-hour, your VWAP's coming down. Money flow is still coming up, though, and your momentum. But your VWAP is cooling off. I say neutral. I would say neutral bullish, actually, on H-Bar. But let me go ahead and pull. Whoa, that is not what I wanted. Pull in the range here. So, yeah. I mean, you came down to the low of your range. If you do wind up cooling off, I mean, I would actually essentially, if you look at the 1 hour, potentially maybe even look at, let's turn it to Heikinashi's, maybe even look at this range. So, yeah, I would look for a potential, with this 4-hour red dot looking to print, I would look for a potential move down in the immediate term to maybe come down here, put in a higher low, and then continue to the upside. Money flow on the higher time frames would indicate more upside, or that the uptrend will continue, right? If you're low, high, higher low, higher high, maybe another higher low, and then another higher high is kind of what I would be looking at. And then looking, again, just kind of to find context or just kind of get like a compass to figure out where everything is. Looking at the lower time frame range. So if we wind up coming down on that 4-hour red dot, I would look for a potential move down to the value area low. And then again, like I just pulled this local fib from the high to the low, you do have somewhat of confluence here if you do get the move down. I don't know if you're going to get it all the way down here, but I would basically be looking for longs if you do get that move down. Because of the way money flow looks on the higher time frames, I would potentially be looking for longs at this blue box and then potentially even the 786 if you deviate from the range a little bit. That way, if that higher time frame money flow is indeed going to continue the uptrend, you're not FOMOing in at these high prices and then taking the ride down. You sit on your hands, wait for that ride to the downside, look for your long at the low, and then if you continue up to higher prices, look at that beautiful entry you basically would have gotten at the bottom, essentially, right? So that's what I would look for on Matic. There's the levels and everything. We're just giving it all away on the YouTube channel today, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Dave Digital said short it next. Dave Digital's just taking notes. He's like, he knows the lingo. He knows like when I wink at the camera. He knows what it all means. Shout out to Dave. Short it next. You guys are funny, man. You guys are like some of the funniest people I ever met. All right, let's see. H bar and PP the second, guys. We're taking a look at PP the second. Let's see. Pepe 2 on the MEXC chart. Please understand that this is a meme coin, and sometimes meme coins do not respect TA as well as the other coins. However, you are clearly at a level of support here. I don't know anything about this coin. I know it is a meme coin. But just so we're clear, understand that this is a meme coin, right? These things are based off of hype and community and pump and dump groups, right? Like, so there's nothing really fundamental that I know of about Pepe 2.0 that gives it long-term utility. Doesn't mean you can't get rich from it. But I'm just here to look at the charts, right? We're not here to analyze the tech. But let's take a look from the high from the low to the high, or from this from this higher low to the high. We have tested, right? We've come down, tested that golden pocket, got a bounce, broke the golden pocket, and we are now testing that 786, or getting pretty close to it. Take a look at the 1 hour. I mean, this is obviously going to be support, right? So this 786 is going to be a pretty important level to watch, right? Because there was a pretty important support resistance flip before making that next high. So if we come back down here, you would really want to hold this level. And let's turn on the VPVR real quick. Come on. VR, VP. There we go. So yeah, I mean, if you lose this level, likely next stop is going to be down here, right? Which, I mean, again, like, isn't that far away. But these are just kind of some of the levels of support. Looking at the 1 hour, green dot is looking to print. I would kind of expect this thing to basically bing bong around. Again, it's hard to get a longer term outlook on this because of the lack of price action. It's hard to tell what that 4 hour is doing. Your 2 hour is kind of bing bonging. 1 hour is looking for the green dot, so short term, maybe you get that move up. 45-minute looking for the green dot. 24-minute looking for it as well. I mean, I would lean, let's pull this range, right? Because this is essentially, let me go ahead and unextend that to the right. So you can see here, if I mark out this value area high, this point of control, and this value area low, you can see I will go ahead and mark this as a range. Bada boom. We'll go ahead and make it neutral, right? And then, like, these are probably the levels I would be keeping an eye on, right? So you have your previous value area high. Previous value area high up here. Where is it? Prev value area high. Prev POC. Prev value area low. So these are kind of the levels I would take. Obviously, you have your 786 down there as well. But I would look for these levels to potentially get respected, right? So if you get a move down, look for longs at the value area high, or at least that's what I would be doing. For longs at the value area low, you want to look for longs at the low of the range and look to target the high, right? You come back to the low, which we have not really done yet. If you come back to the low, I will look for longs to potentially get back to the high. If we go to the high first, I would look for shorts up here to potentially come back down to the low. And I'm going to keep it simple because, again, there's not much to go off of here because there's not that much price action. It is a meme coin. But these are basically the levels I would look at. Also, keep an eye on this 786 down here. I'm not going to read the levels because that's a nightmare. I don't want to give you guys the wrong amount of zeros, and then you're sitting around waiting for the wrong price. So you guys can screenshot those levels if you want to take them. But let's see. I hit that like button twice. Shout out to Zigzag. Looked like you zigged and then you zagged on that one. Maybe hit it a third time. I heard hitting it an odd number of times is the best way to do it. Yeah, shout out to Apples Up North said, I won't be buying until Pepe 60, number 69. Hey, let's go. Not a bad idea. Let's see. Zigzag applying for a bing bong. Let's go. Shout out to Mark Dutch. All right. With that being said, guys, Mafia, I'm late, but I'm here. What's up to all the mods? Shout out to Crypto DJ. Thank you for being here. King Peasant in the chat. B Team Crypto, what is going on? But guys, with all that being said, I think that is all the time and all the altcoins we have for tonight. And we got to get to spinning that wheel of pain and pleasure. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right now. And while I'm doing that, guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Yeah, what are we at? Oh, we're at 586, guys. 650 likes. We are spinning the wheel 15 times. But for now, it's going to be a measly 5. Let's go. And here we go. As the wheel begins to spin. Let's see. Zigzag said, I thought it would increase liquidity. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Give him a giveaway, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Spin numero dos. Don't forget, guys, today's live stream and all of our live streams are brought to you by Market Cypher. Not just because we're sponsored by Market Cypher, but the live stream is literally brought to you by Market Cypher. Like, the live stream is like, Market Cypher is like one of the main parts of our live stream. So literally, this content was created by Market Cypher. So shout out to Market Cypher. If you guys want to sign up and save a little bit on Market Cypher, you can click our link in the description down below. We have a discount code to save you some money because we know an indicator like that, that's this good, ain't that cheap. So go ahead and save that money. Let's see. Oh, yeah, got to give me a giveaway. Shout out to Zigzag. Let's go. Here we go. Winner. I almost said winner number 2. We're not up to the winners yet. Let's see. Use code, MC Frank 20. And if you guys are more of a Lux Algo user, I am kind of a, I'm a, what do I call it? A double user? No. I'm a multi, I don't know what to call it. But if you like Lux Algo, we also have a 30% discount for Lux Algo. You guys can check that out in the description down below. And they also do a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee, which is kind of awesome. Let's see. I need a hat this time. Shout out to Underground Only. Yeah, we gave 2 hats away the other day. We actually gave 3 pieces of merch away on Friday, which was pretty lit. And we let them pick the merch because we have a lot of stuff on our merch store now, so we didn't want to limit it to the hat. We actually, shout out to Learning said, when Lux Algo new video. I will be making a video maybe this week, maybe next week. On the new Lux Algo oscillator indicator. But I will also probably be making a video on my current Lux Algo setup because if you guys noticed, I actually don't know if I pulled it up today, but typically kind of the main indicator setup I've been using as of lately is Market Cypher B on the bottom as per usual. But I've been running Lux Algo on my candlesticks specifically. This is like a custom Lux Algo settings. So this isn't just like, it's going to look a lot different if you guys are using Lux Algo. This is kind of my custom settings. But this is basically what I've been using. I've been using a mixture of price action concepts to label the market structure here. You can see change character, break a structure, all that good stuff with the order blocks as well for support and resistance. You can see previous daily high, previous daily low, good stuff like that. And then the candle coloring letting you know if you're in a bullish trend or a bearish trend. And then that on top of also kind of the most important part of this, which you can't really see it on here because there's no price action, but the smart trail, if we come up to something like Bitcoin, you can see once it spawns there, come on, baby. Oh, come up to the higher time frame. The smart trail is another really, really, really big, a big part of my Lux Algo setup, right? Because again, we like to look for those shorts at the higher lows or the lower highs, I'm sorry. And a lot of times, those lower highs do come in confluence with that smart trail. Whether you're looking at shorts or longs, they typically do line up. So this is kind of, I will be making a video kind of on my new actual settings. We have the liquidity grabs as well. I will explain how to set your chart up to look just like this if you guys are interested. So that, and then the Lux Algo oscillator, the new oscillator matrix indicator. I like to spend a good amount of time with the indicator before I make the videos, guys. I want to make sure I truly understand everything. I've already hopped on a call with Sean, the creator of Lux Algo, and he's basically helped me understand exactly, you know, how certain things are calculated, because I like to have a really, really good understanding before showing it to you guys. So those videos will get released somewhat soon. Shout out to Learning, so keep an eye out for that. But, guys, pulling up our wheel of pain and pleasure one more time here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 giveaways out of 7. Not too bad if you ask me. Mods, go ahead and add it to the list. And with all that being said, guys, I think that is all the time we got for today's live stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and sticking around all the way to the end and just doing 2 full hours of TA with your boy, Frankie Candles, and the rest of the Candle Mafia. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Watch out. Again, my sentiment, just to kind of leave you guys with my sentiment. I'm looking for a move to the downside, potentially before that next big leg up. But other than that, just trading that range, just trading that local range, longing the lows, shorting the highs, and then just kind of, hoping that we break down because that's kind of what it looks like is going to happen. But if we get that break to the upside, hopefully we're able to get into a long from the bottom of that range. And that's why we love trading ranges and not trading like another way. I don't know. But guys, with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., we are doing a special exclusive live stream in, I keep wanting to say agreeance, in partnership with Bing X. We're going to be doing that live trading tutorial where we're going to go in-depth on the volume profiles. We're going to go in-depth on divergences and how I use them to get in and out of trades, mostly into trades. But guys, with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Tyler Ramos.
I told you my phone broke. No, through chat is not the only way you can get in touch with me. No, I wasn't ignoring your calls. I told you I dropped my phone. No, it wasn't the sink. It was the toilet. Yes. No, my phone's not water. Your phone's waterproof. You have a newer. Your phone's older. No, my phone's not waterproof. No. Yeah. No. Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. Understood. I love you. Hey. Okay. Hang up on me. Nice. Yeah. Well, am I live right now? Oh, good. Did you guys hear that? Oh, well, anyway, Mrs. Candles is pissed right now because I didn't answer her text messages or calls ever since she went to New York, and she's pissed. She had to go in the chat to get my attention, but I told her my phone was broken, but she doesn't believe me. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. If I don't see you tomorrow, it's probably because I'm Mrs. Candles got a hold of me. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. 1:30. Don't forget, 1:30. Be there. It's gonna be a good time. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.